We are here with Ray Jones, the Finance and Administration Director for BEDC, and we're talking about football. Before we get started about football, though, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ray.
So yes, as you stated, I am the finance director here at BEDC. I've been in this role for approximately 5 going on 6 years. Prior to that, I was a consultant here. That was a good 6, 7 years. Also have my own consulting company and dabbled into a little bit of retail entrepreneurship in my past.
Okay. So we're talking about football today. So tell us how you got your start in football.
Well, basically, like most boys here in Bermuda, before dating myself, back in the day, you either played football, cricket, you did a little bit of running. Didn't have all these variety of sports that the kids have access to. So I played football and cricket, but quickly found out that cricket wasn't for me. One, didn't like the feel of the ball if it hit me. Two, being out in the field all day and possibly when I got my turn to bat and making no runs just didn't make any sense to me. So selecting football was far more rewarding, and it's obviously a shorter time involved in actually playing the match.
Okay.
So basically at school, primary school, West Pembroke, in gym, and from there it just grew on me. Played for a few local clubs. Started my football at Dandy Town. Most people in Bermuda aren't aware of that because they just knew me as a coach man. That was my first youth football before I transferred over to Devonshire Coach, where I've been ever since. As a player, played through all the youth ranks at Devonshire Coach, represented Bermuda at the youth level, then off to university, to Longwood University, achieved 2-time first team All-American honors the first 2 years of my university career before I got a knee injury, and unfortunately surgery back in the day isn't as good as it is today. So the second 2 years wasn't as prolific in front of goal as you would say the first two. But I did leave university with records as the most goals scored overall, most goals scored in the season, most assists in the season, most assists overall. And I was recently inducted in the Hall of Fame at the school approximately about 4 or 5 years ago.
Well done.
And all my records still exist.
Okay, well done. So how does that bring you to be involved with the Bermuda national team?
So in coming back to Bermuda and playing a little bit, I would say the average player wasn't as dedicated to the game as what I was used to in university training every day. So I quickly had migrated into coaching youth. And through coaching at the club, I was invited to actually coach in the national program, the youth national program, which I've held head coach and assistant coaching positions at the under 15, 17, and under 20 level. I'm currently the head coach of the under 20. And through that progression and being around the program, the current head coach just asked me what I come on board to be one of the assistants for the current national senior men's team.
Awesome. And so now the big deal right now is that Bermuda has made it to the 2019 Gold Cup. Now, is this a first time for Bermuda?
Yes, it's the first time Bermuda has qualified for a major tournament. Our previous, I would say, our highest tournaments we qualified was the Pan Am Games, which we won the bronze medal back in the 60s, 70s era. But since then, most regions have developed their own regional tournament. And basically, this is the first time Bermuda has actually qualified. So this is, you would say, slightly under qualifying for the World Cup. That's how big the current Gold Cup is.
Well, we're excited for you. Are there any things or any tips that you use to motivate your players to do their best? Can you share some of those with us?
Well, for me, anything's possible. I can share some things that we recently did. We actually reached out to some of Bermuda's other, what I would call super athletes, professional athletes in other sports. to create an inspirational video. And basically people like Flora Duffy, a few Olympians, and basically telling the boys that anything is possible. When you look at some of our past, what I would say, elite athletes and what they accomplished, it was to basically be inspiring to the team. And to be honest, seeing that video just before the match, I think was the last stroke of brilliance by the technical staff, because you could definitely feel that the players were inspired to go out there and get the job done. Really, you heard the words that we're punching above our weight. That's something, if you've ever been in a technical room with me, I don't agree with. My thing is, if you give us the same tools as anybody else, then I think we can achieve anything. And in my professional life, as you would know, when people come through the door as entrepreneurs looking to start a business, we basically say the same thing. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. Your market doesn't necessarily have to be just Bermuda, it can be global. And basically try to cross that over into the football world. As you know, we have a few past elite footballers. The current coach was an ex-professional footballer at the highest level. And currently in the team is Nicky Rouse from Bermuda. He plays in the EPL. So anything is possible, and that's what we continue to stress to the boys, that there's no challenge out there that we can't overcome.
That is awesome. So we at BEDC wholeheartedly support you. We are so thrilled that the team has made it and that you are part of that team. We know that you will be traveling with them to the 2019 Gold Cup, and we are rooting for you guys. We know that you are going to achieve, and like you said, anything is possible as long as you're willing to do it. Any last words?
Go Bermuda.